Welcome back to AFTV, everyone. Honestly, the Arsenal's transfer window is blowing up. Yes, no one has been signed yet, and I understand there's skepticism from fans because no one's through the door, nothing is done to. You see them holding the shirt and they've signed that piece of paper, and I get it. But my word, Arsenal are looking busy, and it's making these in focus videos very interesting because signings are looking like they're going to happen kind of more than ever, really. It feels like it's not an overhaul of the squad, but it's certainly a lot of players from Lavia to Havertz to Rice and now Jurrien, Timber that we're talking about. Timber was a target for Man United last summer, remember. We were looking at Martinez, they were looking at Timber. They couldn't get Timber though, and they ended up getting Martinez when we were targeting him. We're actually going to do a little comparison with Timber and Martinez later in this video. But now it's us who are looking at Timber after the £30 million bid was rejected. Apparently they want nearer 50 million. Is he worth it? Why would he be? And what would he do for Arsenal? That's what we want to talk about in this video. But just before we go into it, I want you to know there is a video coming out on the channel later this week with We Talk Ajax, where we're going to get the expert opinion of Ajax fans who have watched him week in, week out for a number of years now to see how he would fit in at Arsenal. But I'm going to do my best to look at it from the numbers perspective, as I always do. So let's go into it. Player profile, 22-year-old, has only ever played for Ajax. He's a centre-back slash right-back. We'll explore that in a little bit. He's right-footed and he is 5'11". At Ajax, well, again, I say centre-back slash right-back. And the right-back thing has been where Arsenal fans, including myself, are really thinking he's going to play. We're all like, well, it'll be a right-back for us because, I don't know, because we need cover for White there and he's very good on the ball, and that's what Arteta did with White after playing centre-back for a year. I don't think it's as clear-cut as that, but we're going to explore some of the numbers as to why, and also look at actually where his role could still see him having a major impact in midfield up the pitch, even if it's not necessarily from right back. Bear with me. Let's go have a look at these little stats here. He played as a centre-back 47 times for Ajax in this last campaign, but not a single minute as a right back. For Ajax, though, overall, 106 appearances as a centre-back, 14 as a right-back. For the Netherlands, of course, he's a Netherlands international, played at the World Cup. He's played 12 times as a centre-back, 3 times as a right-back, although that is interesting because they play a back three, so we'll explore that in a sec. And for Ajax and the academy overall, he has actually played 49 times as a right-back and 166 times as a centre-back. That's interesting because that's kind of nearer 25% of his appearances-ish, not quite, but sort of nearer, coming as a right-back across his whole time in the Ajax setup. But it's where he plays for Holland. That's quite interesting. We're going to bring it up here. Here we go, the back three. Now, I'm just going to circle him. He would be this player here. It's a great back three. It's Timber, Van Dijk, Ake. That's a serious back three. And when you've got the likes of Daley Blind on one wing, but mainly Dumfries, who plays here as the right wing back, getting up and down, you can understand why actually we'll go with the back three because they're so brilliant and we want to get the best out of our wing backs. So I understand that, but it's interesting because where does the Arsenal right back typically sit in the pitch when you're talking build-up, when you're talking Zinchenko inverting and all that? Yeah, it is in a back three. So actually playing in these kind of areas of the pitch from build-up will be very, very something that Ben White's very used to. That will be the areas he's picking up. Maybe sometimes he'll venture a little bit more forward and leave a back two because the left wing back's inverted or whatever. But generally, it's a case of playing in sort of more tucked in roles, but having two other more central defensive partners next to you. And I think that's why a lot of people look at Timber and go, cool, well, he's not like the tallest. He's not short, but he's not the tallest. And he's very good on the ball. So it kind of makes sense that Arteta might do a similar thing. We know we need depth in that area. And actually White can then play a centre-back sometimes. So why not? But I think there's more to it. And we'll talk about that in a sec. Let's go to FBref and just appreciate some of his numbers. Now, I always mention this, just so people know what we mean. FBref ranks things on percentile. I think it's a great way to do it. Essentially, the closer you are to 100 or 99 is the highest you can get. Basically, if you're the 99th percentile, you're on the top 1% for these things. You're the best or one of the best. And some of these are pretty extraordinary, how highly he ranks Timber, for so many of these things. When you actually scroll through FBref and you look at basically all his kind of, numbers for this season. It's so impressive how he ranks amongst other centre-backs in the Eredivisie. He's in the top 3% for passes attempted, for pass completion, for progressive passes and progressive carries. He's even in the top 11% for shot-creating actions, successful take-ons, tackles in the attacking third, likes to do his defensive work high up the pitch, and for challenges lost. However, some of these defensive numbers aren't particularly impressive, and I think this did catch my eye. I looked and I thought, these don't look great. Now, could this be fueling why some fans think he's going to play as a right back? Because some of these are a little concerning, and you think, okay, well, if that's the case, maybe he doesn't suit being a centre-back in an Arsenal system where Zinchenko inverts and White overlaps, and you're leaving Gabriel and Saliba with so much work to do. We saw the minute we lost Saliba how much the system kind of suffered for it. That it makes you think, well, you've got to have the right man. You've got to have the right player coming in if you are going to have someone who's going to do it. For when either Saliba or Gabriel is unavailable, Kivior actually did really well slotting in for Saliba, but it took too late to get to that. But let me show you some of these defensive numbers. 35th percentile for tackles, okay. I mean, some of this will be based down on the fact that Ajax, despite not having their best season, will still have a lot of the ball. And I think it's important to know that. Dribblers tackled, 18th percentile. Dribblers challenged, 12th percentile. Interceptions, 51st percentile. Clearances, 2nd. Percentage of aerials won, 19th percentile. I mentioned he's not the tallest, but last season wasn't sort of particularly dominant in the air either. Now, I wanted to be fair and think, okay, well, maybe this is just the team he's playing in. So let's have a look at the defender we wanted just 12 months before, who played at centre-back for Ajax just the year before. Very, very similar team. How did he do? And I can't lie, Lisandro Martinez blows Timber out of the water in some of these defensive numbers as well. 91st percentile for tackles, 69th percentile for dribblers challenged. Okay, blocks only 27th percentile, but much better. Still 84th percentile for interceptions, 92nd for percentage of aerials won as well. And that's important to understand. Remember all the conversation around Lisandro Martinez's height and all that. Listen, the numbers suggest that he was actually doing well in the air when he was playing for Ajax before joining Man United, and ball recovery's up there as well. So, okay, that's all a little concerning. Then you start to think, okay, are some of those numbers something to worry about? But I wanted to keep being fair, not only because we're signing him, I wanted to make sure there was nothing to worry about. Let's do some more digging. I thought, why not compare him as a right centre-back to two other brilliant right centre-backs? And the reason I'm doing this is because sometimes your style is a part of it. Gabriel is definitely the more stuck-in, rugged defender out of him and Saliba. He's still very good on the ball, he's still good at all that, as is Ruben Diaz, but between Diaz and Stones, he's the more kind of rugged defender, he's the more stuck-in, body on the line, all that. Stones and Saliba, brilliant, but also praised for what they do on the ball. So I thought I'd compare Timber to those two, and that's where it gets very interesting, because when you look at this, you've actually got very, very similar average percentile ranking for key attacking stats, key passing stats, and key defensive stats. I'm going to talk you through them. Let's have a little look at the average percentile for key attacking stats. 72nd percentile for Stones, 68 for Saliba, and 92 for Timber. Now, when I talk about average percentile, I've taken 9 key stats from FBref for attacking stats, passing stats, and defensive stats, and I've just got the average. I've got the percentile rankings, divided them by 9. So attacking stats looks at things like progressive carries, successful take-ons, carrying distance, carries into final third, fouls drawn, all that kind of stuff. And he ranks right up there, better than Saliba and Stones. Okay, different league, sure, but he's the very best in his league for doing those things. Average percentile ranking for key passing stats, 90 for Stones, 71 for Saliba, and 94 for Timber. Very, very impressive. And then I mentioned those defensive numbers not looking so good alongside Lisandro Martinez, but actually his average percentile for key defensive stats, 25 for Stones, 33 for Saliba, and 25 for Timber. That includes things like tackles, dribblers tackled, dribbles challenged, interceptions blocked, fouls committed, aerials won, ball recoveries, all the things that I put him up against Lisandro Martinez. Those exact same 9. I've got Stones and Saliba's numbers for this season, and turns out that the average is about similar in terms of the key stats, key defensive work. I think that's important to understand. Sometimes the way you defend is a stylistic thing, and that's important to remember as well. So where does he fit into this Arsenal team? We bring up the tactical pad. Here it is. Now, here we got Timber. Okay, the obvious thing, let's just get it out of the way. He plays right back. Brilliant. The Arsenal team does the thing it always does that we talk about so much on this channel. Box midfield, thank you very much. There you go. And that would make sense. That would make perfect sense why Timber could play in a back three, back three and build up right back in the Arsenal team. The other thing that has been talked about, potentially, is this. We're bringing Kivior, say he drops Zinchenko, and then the whole thing just shifts along. Maybe it's Timber inverting with Gabriel, and Kivio on the back three. Why not? We've been inverting the right back. We did that in the last few games. It was Partey inverting from right back, and it worked okay. I think that is potentially a solution. But I think there's another way to achieve Timber playing in midfield, and I think watching his comps, there's something very, very interesting about the way he played out the back that I think might be a crucial part as to why Mikel Arteta wants him. Now, let's just say that actually William Saliba doesn't start and Ben White starts at right back. Now, you can achieve this back three and this kind of box midfield in two ways. The way we've just shown, which is basically off the ball, this is what it looks like, with Xhaka coming back in, and Odegaard and Jesus, cool. And you've got a back four there. Let's highlight it. That could easily be the case. You could easily have a situation in which White plays centre-back because for whatever reason Saliba's being rested, injured, okay, and Timber inverts from that position. I would say though, another way that you can get to this system, and let's move everyone back forward, thank you for your patience, is actually that Timber comes in from centre-back. Where have we seen that? John Stones, treble winner John Stones, who was in unbelievable form at the end of the season for Manchester City. Now, am I just picking up another Pep Guardiola tactic, ripping something out from Man City and going, oh, Arteta might do this? And we'll say the box midfield. I think Arteta did a little before Pep, but don't get on me, City fans. No, I think the reason this makes a bit more sense is because something I've tried to illustrate here, which is the way Timber plays out the back. Now look, I've only taken this, I don't watch Ajax every week, I don't watch Timber every week. I'm going to be asking We Talk Ajax about this because I think it's very fascinating. When you play out the back, typically you want to make that part of the pitch as big as possible. So what you get is this kind of movement. You see the centre-back split and you see the full-backs go really wide. Why do you want to make it open? Because maybe there's a passing lane into Thomas Partey, as you see there, or Odegaard, or Xhaka. Or maybe you want to get the ball nearer the byline, so you drag them forward, you suck them in, and then you play around it, that kind of thing. Watching Timber, he doesn't seem the kind of player that actually wants to go sort of almost closer to goal if he's trying to get away from his striker. He actually seems to want to go more into midfield. So, what you might see is something more like this. Maybe Arsenal playing out the back, Ramsdale carrying it forward a little bit more, White a little bit more tucked in. But what you might actually get, if we can just pause it, where were we? Take it back to apologies, let's take it back to about here. You might find Timber almost coming into this area, trying to draw the centre-back away. Because if he does, he might receive the ball. And again, you see this in these Ajax comps, it's really interesting. He seems to just go, all right, well, I'll almost run around you. I'll get further forward, I'll find a pocket like a number 10 would. And if that pass isn't on, well, maybe it's on to Odegaard. Because ultimately, if he's vacated that space, what are you going to do as a striker? You're going to press the goalkeeper? Well, if you do press the goalkeeper, and again, let's take it back to here. If you do press the goalkeeper, then Timber's in space to receive. If you go with Timber, that space is there for Odegaard or someone else to pick up the ball. Or maybe Partey comes into that space to receive. It's unbelievable how flexible Timber looks. Again, basing it purely off comps. When it comes to playing out the back, but wanting to just find different ways to work around it. So when I say that Timber could do the Stones role, I don't just mean, cool, when we have the ball, he comes into midfield, creates a box, and then we're dominating there. I actually mean in terms of the first stage, in terms of playing out the back, trying to get us forward and going, I'm just going to come forward here because they're trying to suffocate us, and I'm going to give you as much room to find another pass, or at least if we go long, or maybe find me another pocket, then we'll play another way out. I think Timber, for that reason alone, could give Arsenal so many different options, gives Arteta so many different options in terms of how he's going to use him. Now, my prediction is I don't think he'll play at the heart of the back three for Arsenal. I don't think, for example, it'll ever be like White, Timber, Gabriel. I think he'll always play either on the right, or if he is to play centre-back for Arsenal, he'll come into midfield and add numbers there. And the likes of Kivio, Tomiyasu, they all facilitate, even Tierney might stay now, they all facilitate the ability to play with the back three and get another one of your ball-playing defenders into midfield. So that will be very interesting as well. Let's see. How do you think Timber will be used? I'm really excited about this. I really hope it happens. Get it done, Arsenal. You bid 30, they want 50. These aren't ludicrous fees in the world of transfer these days. Okay, I get the back and forth on Rice. I also get trying to save money on Havertz because we know. But I think Timber would be a great signing. I hope they get it done. All right, big thanks. Hit the like button if you enjoyed this video. Subscribe to AFTV, and I'll see you all very soon for some more updates. And don't forget that there is going to be an interview with We Talk Ajax. Juan from We Talk Ajax will be coming out in a couple of days' time. Look out for that, because he's brilliant, and I can't wait to get the lowdown from them on Jurrien, Timber, and how he'll do at Arsenal. So let me know your thoughts in the comments below, and I'll see you very soon.
Shop for AFTV merch at shop.aftv.co.uk. Subscribe to us on YouTube. Follow us on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, Snapchat, and Twitch. We've got content for every platform, so check it out.